Have you ever been hurt by someone's words and felt the fire rise inside you? That burning need to fight back, to say something sharp, to make them feel what you felt? Most of us have been there. And most of us know what happens next. We speak. We react. And somehow we feel worse than before. But what if the most powerful thing you could ever do in those moments was nothing at all? This story will show you what true strength really looks like, and it may change how you respond to the world forever. Stay with me until the end, because what happens to this man will quietly rearrange something inside you. In a small, sun-bleached town nestled at the edge of a river valley, there lived a carpenter named Elias. Elias was not famous. He was not wealthy. He owned a small workshop at the end of a dusty lane, and every morning before the town woke up, you could hear the soft rhythm of his tools cutting through wood. People liked Elias. He was gentle. He was kind. He did honest work and asked for nothing more than what was fair. But there was one man in the town who did not like Elias at all. His name was Doran. He ran the largest shop in the market square, and for reasons that no one could quite explain, he had decided long ago that Elias was his enemy. Perhaps it was envy. Perhaps it was pride. Perhaps it was simply that Elias's quiet dignity made Doran feel small. Whatever the reason, Doran made it his habit to humiliate Elias whenever he could. At the market, he would mock him loudly. "Here comes the poor carpenter, scraping wood for coins." In front of customers, he would say, "Do not buy from him. His hands are slow and his mind is slower." Once, at a town gathering, Doran stood before a crowd and laughed. "Elias has been building furniture for 20 years and still cannot afford a decent pair of boots." People shifted uncomfortably. Some laughed nervously. Some looked away. And Elias? He said nothing. He simply looked at Doran for a moment, turned, and walked home. This happened again and again, month after month, and every single time, Elias said nothing. The town began to whisper. Some admired him. Others thought he was weak. "Why does he not defend himself?" they asked. "Why does he just stand there? Is he afraid?" Even his own brother came to him one evening, frustrated. "Elias," he said, sitting across the fire, "people are talking. They think you are a coward. You let that man insult you every week and you say nothing. At least tell him to stop. At least show him you have a spine." Elias poured 2 cups of tea. He set one down in front of his brother. He was quiet for a long moment, watching the fire flicker. Then he said softly, "Tell me something. If a man picks up a stone and throws it at your window, and the stone falls on the floor inside your house, whose stone is it now?" His brother frowned. "Mine, I suppose. It is inside my house." Elias nodded. "And what if you pick it up and throw it back? What happens then?" He could throw it again. It could go back and forth forever. Elias lifted his cup. "And what if you simply leave it on the floor? Leave it exactly where it landed?" His brother was quiet. "Then it is still his stone. It was always his stone. I just never picked it up." His brother didn't fully understand, not yet. But he left that night with something turning slowly in his mind. Seasons changed. Elias continued his work, every morning before dawn, every evening until the light faded. He built chairs and doors and shelves and small wooden toys for children who could not afford expensive things. He was unhurried. He was present. He slept well at night. Doran, meanwhile, grew louder. His mockery became more bitter. And the more Elias refused to react, the more agitated Doran became. It was as though the silence itself was a wall, and every insult Doran threw simply bounced back and hit him. One afternoon, A traveling elder passed through the valley. He was an old man with a white beard and a walking stick worn smooth from years of use. He spent 3 days in the town, sharing meals and listening to people's stories. On his last evening, he sat with Elias on the wooden bench outside the workshop. "I have heard about you," the elder said. "The man who never answers." Elias smiled. "I answer, just not always with words." The old man studied him. "Are you not angry when he mocks you in front of others?" Elias was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "When I was young, I was very angry. The first time Doran insulted me, I lay awake all night. I rehearsed everything I wanted to say to him. I imagined the perfect words, the ones that would silence him completely." "And did you say them?" "I did. The next morning I found him and I said every single word." Elias paused. "And do you know what happened?" The elder waited. He smiled, because he had gotten exactly what he wanted: my attention, my energy, my fire. Elias ran his hand along the grain of the bench. "That night I lay awake again, angrier than before, replaying the argument. And I realized something strange. I had done more damage to myself in those 2 days than he had ever done in one moment." The elder nodded slowly. "The insult lasted 10 seconds. My response lasted 2 days. His words were a candle. My response poured oil on it." A long silence settled between them. The evening birds moved through the trees. "So I stopped," Elias said simply. "Not because I stopped feeling, but because I chose what I would feed." The elder looked at him for a long time. Then he said, "Most men spend their whole lives learning what you already know, that the one who controls his response controls the moment, that silence is not emptiness, it is a container, and you can fill it with dignity or with noise. You chose dignity." 2 winters later, something happened that the town did not expect. Doran's business collapsed. A series of bad deals, a trusted partner who disappeared with a large sum of money. The large shop in the market square was sold. One cold morning, Elias found Doran sitting alone on a low wall near the river. He looked older, smaller somehow. The sharpness had gone out of his face. Elias sat beside him. Doran did not look at him at first. Then, very quietly, he said, "You never answered me, all those years. Why?" Elias thought for a moment. Then he said, "Because your words were yours, not mine. I did not want to carry them." A long silence. Doran exhaled slowly. Something in his face changed. Something old and tight seemed to release. "I think," Doran said quietly, "I have been carrying them myself all along." They sat there for a while without speaking, 2 men beside a river in winter, and for the first time in many years, neither of them was fighting. My friend, Elias's story is not about being passive. It is not about being weak. It is about understanding one of the most difficult truths a human being can learn. You cannot control what others throw at you, but you can always control what you pick up. Every word meant to wound you is a stone on the ground, and every time you react in anger, you pick it up, you carry it home, you feel its weight every hour of the day. The person who hurt you has long moved on, but you are still carrying their stone. True strength is not in your comeback, it is in your choice to let it lie. Tonight, before you sleep, think of one moment this week where someone's words or actions still sit heavy inside you. Imagine it as a stone in your hand, and ask yourself simply, does this belong to me? If it does not, place it down. Let it return to where it came from. You were never meant to carry it. The quietest people in the room are often the strongest, not because they have nothing to say, but because they have learned that not everything deserves their fire. Walk lightly, speak when it matters, and let your silence do what words never could. Peace begins when the world becomes kind. It begins the moment you decide what you will carry and what you will leave behind.